Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about what behavior means and for your child when they do have a behavior. So this is session 3 of our Positive Solutions for Families videos. Um, Last time you've been working on positively stating instructions with your child, and so today we're really going to be focused on the behaviors you want to see less of and the behaviors you would like to see more of, and the ways you might encourage your child using those positive stated instructions with them. We also will continue with trying to determine the meaning of your child's behavior and really practice being behavior detectives later on in session 3. So on your packets of for session 3, apply it and try it. We're going to be really talking about, you have 2 activities. The first activity was trying to write down the times in which you used your positively stated directions in the situations of at home, whether it was in the grocery store, just different parts of your day. And that when you might have normally told your child something that was referred to with no, stop, don't, or what not to do, and just reframing that with what you want them to do in a positive way. So make sure you share that with your child's teacher and just really talk about how'd that go. What did you notice? How did your child react? And after that happened, how did you feel too? How'd that make you feel using those positively stated instructions with them? The second activity was to start thinking about kinds of behaviors that you would like to see less of and behaviors that you'd like to see more of, and how you might have encouraged your child's behaviors you wanted to do, what your child to do more of, and also share those examples. So it might with your child's teacher. All right, for our affirmations, just really think about things that you have been really working on with the positive stated instructions with your child, and write down all the hard work that you're doing to really implement all these strategies that you're learning inside your home. So just take a minute and write down and reflect on what's really working well, what you're really proud of, or even stuff that you want to accomplish, and just give yourself credit for everything that you are doing. In our behavior has meaning, we're going to just do a really quick review about what we talked about. So we spent some time thinking about how behavior is meaningful and also communicates a message. Sometimes when children do not have an appropriate way to communicate a message, for example, talking, singing, signing, or using picture symbols, they use challenging behavior. So that could be hitting, spitting, screaming, kicking to really get their needs met. Simply put, children engage in a challenging behavior because it works for them. It works for them by sending a powerful message, which in results the child obtaining or getting something or someone, whether that be attention, toys, food, or avoiding, escaping something or someone, whether that's an activity, an adult, or even something that you've asked them to do. A term that we use when we determine the meaning of behavior is the function. The function of the behavior is what the child is trying to communicate or the purpose of the behavior. Your child either wants to obtain something, to get something or someone, or is trying to avoid or escape something or someone. To really understand child challenging behavior, we need to become behavior detectives. We look for clues by thinking about what happens before and after the behavior. Even though it can seem like it, behaviors do not happen out of the blue. Something always before or after the behavior happens that the child results in the behavior. So really thinking about what happened before the behavior started to have the child to continue the behavior or to start a behavior. The more we observe what happens before and after the behavior, the more clues we will have to figure out what your child wants or what they want to do. Our goal is to identify the meaning of the function of the behavior so that we can create an intervention plan that will change it. By the end of our sessions, you will have a good idea how to develop a plan for reducing your child's challenging behavior and teaching them a new skill in replacement of the behavior. So the ABCs of behaviors will be our clues to figure out the meaning of the behavior that can be found in three things. So the first one is the antecedent, is the A. So the antecedent refers to what happened directly before the behavior happened. That might include specific times of the day, the setting, the people around your child, and activities that set off or turn on a challenging behavior quickly. Here are a few examples or questions you might ask yourself when thinking about the behavior. Was your child's sister playing with the toy he wanted? Were you talking on the phone and it had been a while since your child received attention from you? Did you say, it's time to go to bed, let's clean up our toys so they're ready for us to play in the morning? These are all things that can happen before a child has a challenging behavior that might turn on or result in your child's challenging behavior. So the B is the behavior. Behaviors are observable and measurable. So behavior refers to what the child did or the specific action you saw the child do. Behaviors can be appropriate too, not just challenging. Let's say you ask your child to clean up the crayons and paper she was coloring with. This is what happened before. Your child might put the crayons away or throw the crayons and rip up the paper. Those are both examples of behaviors. When thinking about your child's challenging behavior, you might ask yourself, what did my child's behavior look like? Again, we want to be able to describe the behavior. You might think of things like, oh, they get so angry when they're upset. But that's not really a behavior. If you describe the behavior what you observed, you might think she threw her crayon down on the floor and ripped up her paper. Throwing and ripping are the behaviors that made you think your child might be angry. So C refers to the consequence of your child's challenging behavior. Consequence simply means what happened after the behavior. We typically think that consequences is what adults do after behavior is to punish the child. But here we are going to think about the word consequence a little differently. It is whatever happens right after the behavior. It might be something the child wants or a way that someone responds. Here are a couple of examples of using a consequence. So your child's sister is giving her brother a toy when he hits her as a consequence. You say, give mommy 2 more minutes after your child yells while you are on the phone is a consequence. Giving your child 5 more minutes to play before bedtime after they had a tantrum is a consequence. So thinking about our last part in today's video is the ABCs and the meaning of behavior. You might be asking, how do I use the ABCs to figure out the function or reason for my child's challenging behavior? It's a great question. Looking at the antecedents can help us figure out the function of a challenging behavior. Children tend to use challenging behaviors in the same situations and around the same type of antecedents. Have you ever thought, every time we're in the car, they start fighting? Or, she does this every time we try to sit down and eat at the dinner table. These consistencies in different situations can give us information about why behaviors occur. Knowing when your child is most likely to have a challenging behavior and when challenging behavior is less likely to occur is some of the information you can use to plan how you can help your child. What happens after the challenging behavior or the consequence will always tell you a lot about the meaning or the function of the behavior. That is, how we respond to a challenging behavior. Even if we think we should reduce or stop challenging behavior, makes it more or less likely to happen. If you tell your child to clean up the toys and they start crying and screaming and you respond with saying, okay, you can have more time to play, the child will learn that when it's time to clean up and they want to play, they can scream and cry. They will cry and scream to get more playtime in the future. Your child was communicating with screaming and crying that they wanted more time to play and did not want to stop to clean up. Of course, we don't want our child to scream and cry, and we don't intend to reward challenging behavior. We're all just doing the best that we can and what we know how to do. As we go through our time together, we will learn different ways to respond to challenging behavior that can help decrease our challenging behavior.